according to the Lord, the woman at YouTube, he keeps on calling her as in by name, as one of the crazy weirdos that I ended up hanging out with strangely, only because she was one of my cousin's friends. And again, like God says again, but I've been reluctant, I've been unprepared, I've been unwilling to rock up here and proclaim it on a rooftop and say that it's her, because I just want to believe that it's analogical, it's metaphoric, what God is showing me. I want to believe that it is only a metaphor, what the Lord is showing me, in the sense that it's not really her, but someone like her. So I'm gonna out here explain to you YouTube, and also let you know that the Lord God Almighty has been flat out calling her Lorraine. And I have been unprepared to say that it's Lorraine. Also YouTube South Africa, because what the heck? What do you know of me? Who are you? Who am I to you? You and I were not even friends. You were rather the harlot friend of my cousin. But I hung out with you for a season. And because I was the girl on a loka, talkative like everybody else, only giggling at jokes but not really participating in too much. Only able to have any kind of bravery when I was drunk on alcohol, because I was that girl. Now today that I'm as outspoken as I am and as intelligent as I am, evidently, now today that I am the woman that I am, it's like, no, I'm always gonna be the girl go party. Be careful who you hang with, okay? Listen, be very careful. All I know is that definitely, that much is a fact. Everybody that uses witchcraft on me, the Lord Mara, sometimes when people use witchcraft, because everything else that befalls you, every other domino that befalls you on your body, in your dreams you will see the person with the original witchcraft to account for why this domino is falling. So you can't always say when a domino is falling that it is the person with the sorcery, but it very potentially might be. It very potentially might be, but it also might not be, only that their witchcraft is what caused that domino to fall. So because I have just been writing it off as no, it is her witchcraft that has caused these dominoes, like the lady at YouTube, falling on me, because I am trying to equate this activity to rather a domino from her, I have been reluctant to say that give the very exact chick that, no, I don't grow up with her. She was my cousin's friend. Mara, I'm telling you a story right now so you can understand. If at all it is her exactly, your girl sees busy. Mara, if it's not her, you must understand, however, that this woman at YouTube is just extremely similar, if not hand to glove similar, to one of these crazy ladies that I met because of hanging out with my wayward papi, chachi, cousin, Mamelang. We go to Leondale one fateful school holidays in my 16th year of life, and I see Patricia after years when we were still before teenage years. I'm like, hi Patricia, whatever, alright? Listen to the things that I did. Listen, Mamela, I am at this stage a virgin. I've never kissed a guy. I am just so innocent, hanging out with a cousin that's flat out through her teeth and through her nostrils and through her ears lying about being a virgin. That would ultimately be revealed to me years down the line when something slipped, because she had told me that she had never at that stage slept with a guy. She claimed that she was still a virgin, but she had already at that stage broken her virginity with some dude that she met in, I believe, grade 9. Or already she was busy, right? Type establishment thing. Mara, it's now like a year and a half later since then, and she's still claiming that she is not sexually active. Anyway, whatever, right? So Mamela were all teenagers in mid-high school, early to mid-high school. Her cousin, my cousin's cousin, I guess maybe we could call a friend, because I also knew her since we were children, right? My cousin's cousin and my friend. At that stage, Mamela, these are the people that I'm out here hanging out with, né? You know, parents, there's only so much that parents can do to safeguard their children. This girl was our age, also born 1984, but she was in grade 9, because she failed either grade 8 or grade 9, and so she was repeating grade 9, while my cousin and I were in grade 10. Already, we're dealing with abantu abasabisikolo lana, abantu that just are not that was before the days of squeezing children through anyway, because parents want to. Because yeah, that proper happened in the South African education system. Our country's going to the dogs. Anyway, yeah, apparently allegedly kids can't be failed now today if parents say so. I know a few kids on the come up, when I was growing up, that could nicely fail because you did badly in school. But it also took a hell of a lot to fail. It took so much to fail, guys, because our standards of education were just being dwindled by the Minister of Education year on year. They would reduce, first of all, they segregated standard grade and higher grade and lower grade, and then they made pass marks 40% and then 35% and then 30 and whatnot. It was just hella hard to fail. So if you fail proper, you probably got like 20% across all your subjects. This is who we're dealing with. This is who we're dealing with. And the one holiday, we go and we visit this child. My mother was not, Lena, she was negligent as a parent. Her own worries. And so she let me hang out that at some point my mother was supposed to be like, you're not going to see your cousin this holiday. She's not a good influence on you. Yeah, throwing my toys out the cart. My mom was supposed to put her foot down, but she didn't. So yeah, when you marry nasty and you end up with postpartum depression, you will literally regard crazy friends, crazy cousins, and crazy ecosystems in the neighborhood as your child's babysitter, because now you're too busy to focus on anything else. So just leave whoever with your child, even though this person is just a horrible influence. If at all you're a parent and you know that the child with whom your child grew up together and they are tight now smokes cigarettes, now is giving grief to the parents, now doesn't come home every so often. If at all her dad is always complaining to you as the mom, going forward, even though when you were 8 and 9, you used to hang out together, swim. Now that you're both 17, now that you're both 16, now that you're both 15, I'm sorry, you're not hanging out with her because she's gone, she's taken a fork. She's gone in some strange direction, so no child of mine will be out there hanging out with that wayward kid. Otherwise, my mother already knew the horror stories of my cousin. She knew them, and yet she was willing to let me go. Mina, your bloma. With my cousin, holiday upon holiday upon holiday, my cousin complain when I went away. When I went away, that don't make any kind of sense. But like, you were supposed to stop me from hanging out with my cousin the moment that day, that fateful day when I was collected. My mom was supposed to be like, okay, from going forward, you're not going anywhere. Got the school holidays, house at Kazi, I was at Royamo. Una le guy, and the thing you wanna know, Seba, why that what the Yahola Momo Jarating? Who wrote on the direction, where were you? Instead of being a Vavas Jenka, Ronari Ishmael, or whatnot. Hey, yeah, Garabo, how come do you know the information that the dad needed in order to try and locate his daughter? Why do you know? I don't want no child of mine near that kid. That's what a responsible parent does. That's why the Bible, it is written that in the heart of a child dwells a great deal of folly, but the rod of discipline drives it away from him. If my mom had put her foot down after that fateful incident, that fateful day, I never would have met Lorraine. I kid you not, I would never have even known what she looks like. I never would have met Lorraine because Lorraine came in grade 11. This was beginning of grade 10. Lorraine came a whole chunky year later. Lorraine came after. If my mother had said, no, you are not going to visit that cousin of yours, otherwise I might have gotten my scholarship at the end of matric. I would have been upset. I would have passed because I would have stayed in academic. Lorraine came after, and just a whole chunk of random crazy activity came later. This is a combination of children in and of themselves having a conscience enough to know that something don't make no sense, but also parents making an observation of a cancerous and a poisonous atmosphere for children and so blocking it. So like I said, both parents and the children themselves who are old enough, mature enough to be able to realize when something is messed up. If a mother or a father puts their foot down, the folly in this child that's finding euphoria out of hanging out with crazy people might be snapped out of just by mere virtue of the fact that herein lies the rod of discipline driving that folly out. And understand, kids overcome stuff. They get over shatterings, disappointments. We're gonna take you to Gold Reef City today, and then they don't come, and you cry for the day, and then you're out in the street again playing Chicago. Children are extremely elastic. They bounce back. So I got mamina today. Allah, I hate my mom because she would not let me go to the party, to the celebration, to the birthday. Maragausane, she gonna be on her phone, chatting to some other people, doing some other thing at the mall, buying milkshake. Yeah, they bounce back, these people. So whether or not they throw their toys out the cot and bang a door is irrelevant, because after banging that door, your kid has been spared from hanging out like crowd at Candy Square. Anyway, whatever. Whatever, we go to Leondale, and here in Lasgarabo hanging out, I'm in grade 10. I'm on the honors roll every single term in school. I am a star. I'm a teacher. My onderwijzers and my onderwijzeresses. Be out looking at a sister like all my teachers be out looking at me like I'm a future star. I'm an up and coming promise. I'm a prospective for something wonderful. Maybe one day I'll become head girl of Sir John Adamson High School proper Nyatan Weskolwen. Ne? That's who I am in grade 10. Ke ratiwa hure, ke famous, ke popular, ke even a little mistress, little teachers. That's me. That's crank, hey. Yeah. And it took one holiday for teachers to just perpetually yell at me, scream at me, say what's going on with you, Garab? What's happening? Why are you doing this to yourself? What the game? Why are you dropping the ball? And I'd be like, ma'am, it's nothing. Don't take it too seriously. Don't be uncouth. Don't be out crawling up my hair like a tick. Leave me alone, ma'am. Yeah. That holiday caused that kind of activity in my life. That holiday, that one fateful holiday, caused teachers to crease their foreheads at me until they gave up. And so I didn't make prefect in matric. I didn't even go to leadership camp. I didn't make head girl or deputy head girl. I was in a boffin class and I dropped the ball. People that I used to slay, massacre, destitute, out your bomb in terms of my results, my academics, were now bombing me. And homework, from a friend that was always doing her homework until one day like no, I accept maths homework because now I wouldn't do my homework. I went from being the girl that everybody's copying the homework of to the girl that's now copying everybody's homework because I'm gonna get into trouble for not doing my math homework. Cause that weekend they go jazz festival instead of doing my math homework, and that's how I didn't make it into the BSc at Wits University because that's what I wanted to study, a BSc in financial mathematics or biochemistry, one of the two, and it just didn't quite give. It didn't give because I get busy. Important, lovely, wonderful, thinking that I could maintain my academic track. Breaking my virginity and everything. Yeah, I actually literally thought, I thoroughly imagined that I could maintain my future track that I was on, that everybody was looking at with great promise. I imagined that I could keep that going. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not gonna work. You're not gonna make it. You're just not. So here is this chick that's basically every teacher's dream, right? Here is this child that is every teacher's absolute dream. Hanging out one fateful school holiday. Go Leondale. Chakela Kazi. And at this point I'm in grade 10. Oh, come on. Why is my computer slower? Anyway, whatever. Let this thing do its thing. I'm just hanging out. Yeah, all up in there. I go there and I'm hanging out now with, and I don't know, I was a very serious academic. Like, I'm speaking all subjects on a higher grade, and even then very hard subjects like physics, chemistry, like I'm speaking mathematics, I'm speaking accounting, biology. Yeah, that's who I was. And I'm out here hanging out with kids. We out here taking subjects like home economics, like history, like the easiest subjects, right? And even then, one of them, a grade. Weekend. Know your children and know to essentially put your foot down pertaining who your kids hang out with, because it makes all the difference. It makes all the difference. My older sister, Yana, was more disciplined than me in the sense that even though Nali busy every so often she never dropped the ball on her books. So she was maintained as a very staunch academic, right? And hence why she even got a scholarship to go and study in Italy at some point. However, the error that my sister made was that even though she was encircled by kids in her school that were academics because they tended to hang out together, and they also clumped them together in my school, they had a thing where it is that they would put smart kids in the same class, and then the ones that were kind of struggling were in the same class, and the smart kids also tended to choose subjects that were similar. So my sister could have totally hung out with certain kids. Do you understand what I'm saying? But no, my sister, her friends, my sister was worse than me. But like her friends never fila. Just like it. My sister had 2 friends that had to repeat a grade. Never do about 20%. They were always go jarateng, go eso after school. Go jive, go YFM. What do you call this? YFM. What was always on this cassette that they would be playing. Cause a whole bunch of havoc. Removing me from TV when I'm watching cartoons, and then rock up battle jiva, going to random strange parties. These people, these friends of my sisters that were just absolute underperformers, like never fila. My sister's friends never fila ure, and my sister na jiva lebona at some point baba tumpa baba trapa go fela. But what partying over 24 hours about in my mom's car because she was gone to Durban, and one of their boyfriends was driving my mom's car around. Baba trapa. And no, my sister until she went to Italy. She never dropped the ball. She was a hard knock academic. So even after life in hectic for a teenager, she nonetheless did really well. She did really well in school. Ma, like I said, how plomale nonsense le paniki, how plomale chubopo. When you hang out with chubopo, even if you've got the self-discipline to be maintained as an academic while you hang out, Didi out Didi cherry that keep on getting 2% in mathematics. When you get older. Because you're the one that's gonna have a career that's killing it. While they are the ones that are out here, you know, pushing and passion as the receptionist in corporate South Africa. Proper. My sister insisted, even though she was an academic, able to have friends that were academics, she found them boring. There was one girl that was really smart that she used to hang out with. Oh, not boring. To my sister, too boring. Nasa jiving, nasa this, nasa that. Justin Jeffella went their own separate ways because she was not interested, and it was these friends of my sisters. Babadi Chubo. Body 2%, body 3%, body 5 bob. Yeah. Once my sister, I have got a spiritual gifting, and it's once my sister and did what she did, bamlandela emuvang emiti hectic. I get to be the chomite guy, take it Laurent, my former sister, former friends of my sisters. That even though she had to break away from them because now she was an international student, abala overseas, bamlandeng amajeresi. As soon as they learned about witchcraft and could therefore bewitch a person's prospects. My sister, she doesn't want to listen to me. She doesn't want anything to do with the gospel. So when I try to tell her, Uguti, one of the biggest reasons why Impiyako is like this, and why, despite having all these hectic degrees, only masters yako Harvard. Oh, proper career. In your 40s and you're still having a hard time. Why? Blah blah blah. Yeah, but you kill me and it gets about my exactly. Leo. My sister's like, in tongues. So I was like, you don't want rest, you don't want protection. And I keep dreaming about Bona. My sister destroying, never mind my sister's life, my family. Because in order to get to my sister, there has to be family dysfunction, even in us. So, but at us, and all these dreams that I get, I keep saying to God, can't say any here, God. What am I supposed to do? All I can do is intercede, pray that my sister is okay, and that this thing does not eventually result in what these people are trying to do. When the individual in question that is out to being dealt a bad blow by these curses, in and of themselves does not want healing, all I can do is, basically pray that she will one day give her life to Jesus Christ. But by then, they went nowhere in life and got nowhere in life. And they wanted my sister to also just pretty much grovel. We don't care that you studied overseas. We don't care that you've traveled to the globe. We don't care that you've that. We don't care that you're going to be just like me. Or do you Momo Johannesburg and take you feel like grade 11 and you feel like grade 9. Or facing taking twice high school. By the time but proper 21st birthday party, I can go metric dancing. That's who I was. While one of my closest friends was studying abroad from the age of 16. I don't care. But when I on a lady these stats, that's so. Because at the end of the day, really as a lifestyle. Because listen, I remember you. You're the rando that I used to go partying with. That don't suit us. So why are you acting special? Why are you acting different? No, listen, she was special. Listen, she was different. It's just that she made a decision to gain euphoria, took a chill pill, took a drug, got high on it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Of hanging out with crazy people that for a season make you feel really good. That happened with my sister. So listen, avoid certain people. Because later on in life, like they own you or whatever. Avoid certain company because later on, izoglanda emuva because it'll feel entitled to you ending up exactly where it is that it is at. As minuscule as it always has been while you become a beast, it'll insist that you be maintained as a microscopic microorganism. Listen, they will insist that you be kept as something ingabonagali and bazosebenzisa imithi to make that a reality. Life has consequences, dog. We see it littered in the scriptures. Decisions you make early on in life can afflict you later in life. All the way decisions that you make ulengwana di ka go ravazetsa bokamoso bophelo di go tshwatlele bo together well into the future. And listen, dominoes will keep on tipping. Dominoes will keep on tipping. Things will keep on falling off the table. Earthquakes will keep on shaking. Seismic activity will continue to bubble underneath your structures purely because that you allowed yourself to hang with Una 12 kabang, Una 17 kabang. So long ago, you're now like 42. It's still all up in your grill. And imagine we're living in the era or the age of social media where people that back then like 20 years ago can see what's going on with your life because of social media. Because of social media. Now, people should not have to be afraid of posting their life on social media. If they want to, they get to. What is necessary is covering yourself with Jesus Christ. Don't look at my life looking like this. God made it this way that I might be a monument, an example. He's going to set me free. He is going to deliver me. But a lot of people are living essentially surveilled by crazy creeps that you were never supposed to hang out with at 7, but you hung out with them. You were never supposed to hang out with them at 17, but you hung out with them. And now on social media, and they have made it their prerogative to essentially handle you. Now that you're something else, they're gonna want to bring you down to their crazy incendiary level. So, seeing as I've already told you about what happened with my sister, again, I spoke about in the Bible, we see decisions that are made by like people like David, how they followed him well into the future. His era with Bathsheba made sure that the sword never left his household. Decisions that people make that are still gnawing away at you like a maggot. Because why were you not more wise in your younger days? Even in the Lord's word in the book of Ecclesiastes, there is counsel that young men from the time you're but youths, be responsible with your decision making, steward your decision making with godliness. Then in that way you won't have to face the essentially consequences of godlessness. And then when it comes to counseling young men when they've just gotten married to their wives, the Bible says that may her breasts satisfy you always. May you ever be content with the wife of your youth. Otherwise, if you follow after the mistress, the side chick, her feet go down to death. Men go there and they don't come back. And again, when you allow yourself to go into the adulterous woman, your wealth will be squandered. You will spend your wealth on other people's people. You will spend your wealth on other men's children. You will squander your wealth. Other people will essentially loot you because you just won't stop jumping into weird women. Men, baratang di side chick, men that love side chicks and Nazis and whatnot, they're always paying these Nazis' children's school fees. And manje, when a woman is also a side piece, I'm sure a lot of times they know that they're side pieces. She be out here taking to Wimpy, the guy that she considers a boyfriend, oh, basically the married man, because he's giving me 10,000 rands every time I have sex with him. And then she goes and she buys a shirt for a boyfriend, but her husband, after having an affair with a man that is financing some other dude who is struggling. She is sleeping with a wealthy guy while she is in a love relationship with one that's just wapusha. The almost happy thing. So herein lies this married man out just spending his wealth on other men. He is spending his wealth on another woman's children. Banabakache don't even get taken to the wimpy stairs as much as Banabanyatsi, because men tend to go all out, more even for Nyatsis than they do for wives. So it's just a bizarre thing. And the scriptures make it clear that don't squander your wealth on other people. Men, keep it within your own family. And stop spending magazine on Ama's side piece, because then not only are your feet gonna go down to Sheol because they follow her, but you will literally spend all of your wealth on strangers. All of your wealth on strangers. Whatever decisions you make, listen, they can follow you deep into the future anyway. Bon water, bon individual, bon crisis, because you is a crisis. Swelling pele mo strateng mona re bue ka Leondale. Go to Leondale. 15, 16 years old. I'm thinking, me, I'm gonna have fun with like-minded teenagers. One of them has flunked. The other one is just abysmally performing in school, but at least she passes every grade. My cousin was not dumb. She was just lazy. She's not dumb. She was just lazy. Her dad is very intelligent. At some point, he was into hard knock chemistry. So, so mega topic blow a ball, and because the Minister of Education in this country kept on reducing the pass mark, she saw it fit to not only downgrade to standard grade pretty much all her subjects, Mara, she just got the bare minimum. And that's how she scraped through high school. She wasn't dumb. I guess that's why she never failed a grade. But with that kind of lifestyle, it was near on, what do you call this? It was a near possibility that could happen. So herein lies this cousin of mine. Like I said, the one of 80 grade 9 or grade 80, like just some little age, some little grade. Way fates, not even grade 11. Not even grade 11, which is the worst grade to be out failing. Sorry, to be out doing. Grade 11 is the hardest grade in high school. I bet you would come to agree, especially when you do subjects like physics, biology, mathematics, you know. It'll out you, right? It'll ravage you or whatever. No, this chick, fates grade 8 or grade 9. So she was one grade below us, even though Sonke we were the same age. Yeah, that's the first issue. And then, so here's Karabo, 16-year-old, 15, 16, 15, if anything, right? It was yet to be my 16th birthday. And I'm out here hanging out like a homie with one child that has failed a grade and another kid oiling about these streets. Do you understand? Was thinking anything seriously, while I was a decorated academic. That was gazed upon with great favor as like I was on a track to basically become head girl of my high school. And I'm hanging out. Le motho in grade 8 or grade 9. Le omonge o dulang je fela le ko a squat up and down a shapa divorce back in the day. And I am a virgin. No one else there is. So I am a virgin. Why academic? All favor on mo leng thingy. Won't is looking at me as most likely to become ABC. And I'm hanging out no mundo fairly great. All about these streets and a boy too. Tough. At that tiny little age. Alright. Karabo and Amara she's having fun with Abokazi. She's just going to go and have fun with other children. Abazali bona, according to them, bana kaofela ba plomile ke bana mos. Mara, ntate, ngwana ha wa se ngwana, she's always ntho tsa batho ba bagolo ene o ploma di plekeng tsa batho ba bagolo. Ditlapo tsa no under 22, no under 21. What ikena? So lo mo lona una 21, 22. And I mean again in a 15. Ain't no mother in their right mind going to accommodate her 15-year-old daughter hanging out with a 21-year-old. I'm looking at it lapong 21-year-olds. You would agree. I get they were doing the 21, and like I said, but I even like 21-year-olds. I was a child in the worst way. 21, that looked like they were also 15. And we go to Leondale. Alright, we go there, and first day, kumnandi, because there's too many of us from there. Because, you know, there's not enough in bed doors. You know how it is, manchagile, man. Rama sponge, mufats. Kumnandi lana. Hey? Rabua ra seba ra tshega ha re robale ka nako go monate re tshakile ke di holiday mara ke ha le ka lebala ka Chicago re gonna gona rena le 7 please re ba gole re lwa kana go etsang he as teenage children the next day. At this particular point, my cousin then tells me, she doesn't tell me about, she had this boy, she'd already told me about this boyfriend of hers, and the reason why she wanted to go to Leondale for these particular school holidays was because I was spending the holiday every day and boyfriend high. Every day boyfriend high, and my cousin is at the stage where she's 15. This boyfriend of hers was 19 years old. Okay, probably 19 or 20 or something. She was into dating guys with that kind of age gap, and it caused me about a year later or 2 years later to also date a guy that was also with that kind of age gap. Listen, 4 years is nothing. My ex-boyfriend was older than me by 4 years. When you're older, 4 years is not so intense. The older you get, the more reasonable age gaps become. When you are 26, it becomes okay to be with a guy that is 33 or 34 or 35. If you want to, listen, it's your prerogative. Everybody's an adult in their space. But the same 26-year-old, when she is 16, listen, no. You don't get to be with a 4-year-old, because then on that day, this guy is just a freaking pedophile. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you're younger, a 4-year age gap is kind of daunting. When you are in grade 8, a guy that's out of high school is just irresponsible to be out here hanging out with you. Like, it's absolutely irresponsible. Do you understand? But once you get to first year varsity at the age of 19, the same dude in corporate South Africa on at 26, Papa, listen, it's all systems go. Do you? Because now you're older, you're of age, and even a 10-year age gap is properly fine the older you get. Like a 25-year-old woman can marry a 35-year-old Marafuna. If she wants, it's okay, it's fine. Mara, don't you be out there dealing with a 15-year-old and a 25-year-old Papa on that day. Listen, you know what? Listen, I'm getting my dihorisi, EBGB. And my cousin, when we were in grade 8, when we were in grade 8, my cousin dated a guy that had a car and he was out of high school. High school, pedophile. That's what he was. He was out of high school. I think he was like 19 going on 20 or whatever. And I believe that's the guy that broke her virginity. I mean, Papa, what do you expect? If you're 14, going on 15 years old in grade 8, and you date a guy on a moto that's out of high school, what makes you think he's going to be, what do you call this, compassionate and understanding of the fact that you're a virgin and you don't want to have sex? He's going to try and take that. That it's nonsense. First and foremost, I was with high school to the blazer, the tunic, the hempe, the go suits a fitang matangi, and just shell the campus proper. Yes, when guys from high school, the high school, unless you're in first year, then maybe you can date a chick in grade 11. Largely, as soon as you are out of high school. So this school uniform, there's no telling guys anything, yo. There's no telling men anything. Cause when it comes to young blood, Hashem, ba show ba ikepela, we taking you hooray, ba partying, bona ba jiva, ba up and down, ba ya bangena, ba tansa di outfits and ba tansa. So jaka ga ba le mo metanso, o ka se jwetse monna o ga iketse, o ka se mo jwetse ga etseng. Ale maratong a motantsho. A setse a jigila a shika. Nka go dutse mo stulong se masajang ga nna ntho ka mo etsang yona mo ga di high school ha le busy antsa pick up ngwanyana after netball practice from a driver koloi ga nna ntho ka mo etsang yona. Listen, I ain't is collect after netball practice and not find it taboo. When I was in high school, the number of cars that would park not belonging to parents picking up chicks were just dastardly, and for me it was like how na mahloni girl o tla tla ke dude wa koloi o school uniform le teng duty yana hana mahloni atlo ba le a check wa parents school uniform o iseng o swa hayo o monyane mara ke girlfriend. Aren't you ashamed just by the fact that mere virtue of the fact that u uniform in passenger seat moto akho? Aren't you ashamed of yourself to be seen? You're a 20-something-year-old guy and there's like a chick with school uniform in your car and like say o swa gago monyane, and it's also not ikazi. And how kumbi driver, dude, you are a boyfriend. Star o light the music proof. Hip-hop is out there playing. Dude is 20-something and he is content picking up a chicken school uniform and everything. Busy a stock sweetie. Chick busy school ground. Stock sweetie. I can say cutie pie. Mara before bell ring before final period. Hey, busy pocket mirror like it's wearing tablet day. Busy pocket mirror. What about lip gloss because it's almost after school. I can't wear the makeup unlike in schools in the UK, makeup like it's weird like that. Like their school uniform conduct is just really whack. They can wear makeup. There was no makeup. Lost party my way to shining like the sun, iridescent like the sun. She had to be touching up gloss busy making sure wipe papa because what's about auto pick up okay hot I mean, like, where is the shame? And then these chicks knew because everybody else was frowning on all this activity, so we would all just look at them and say, dude, you're not busy, weekends are cool. He's busy bopping outside of high school. Come on, I'm not 20-something dude, you got a driver's license and everything. You were able to purchase a car. A lot of times first year students don't got no cars. Maybe even at the age of 20, you still are just struggling to put together 2 ranta, 2 bob. So if you've got a car, dude, you're like 23, you're like 24, and you are just parking at a high school? Aye, man. I'm not that self-control. So man, if they don't have self-control, you as a woman have to have enough self-respect to not be out your momonaring a stock sweetie after parrying all of your lip gloss on your lips to go and enter the car of some idiot that's not going to be ashamed of driving around the Kasi with a uniformed child without being that child's brother. At least I guess like I proper didn't. If anything, the last guy I was with, I taught him how to drive. So I from the passenger seat. Maybe they get conditioned into loving the passenger seat, and that's why they're willing to accommodate them the passenger seat so young, even if it's not the passenger seat of Ubaba or Big Brother or whatever. Mara set up with older guys. Yeah, I know it all too well. I've seen it, right? I've seen it in these uneasy streets of Johannesburg. I've seen Anyway, my cousin was that kind of chick. I could not understand it. My high school, we frowned. Like a lot of the girls in my high school, we frowned on these chicks about collect by emo to be like, yo, and it would be like a whole spectacle. It would be like a whole spectacle after school. It would be like a whole spectacle after school to witness, to observe this activity, where it is that me would collect a girl in school uniform by guys that got cars. Weird little hypocrite is Gamabo, because back at the ranch on the other side of town, my cousin, when I was in grade 8, when we were in grade 8, mega collect by I get him 20. Yeah, dude in his 20s. Well, he was like 19, 20, right? Oh, on a poof poof. Out here hanging outside of a high school, poof poof. Hey, music out here loud like no man's business. And how? Yes, like it. On the other side of town, Gamu, sister hypocrite. When I bomba so as in best friend, as in sofa slasha nungazongchela lo impincham. Yeah, kina le bomba isa bomzeze. Bombibinzaza, ke bomzes, Shikira ke bomzomza, ke bomzaiza hectic. That also is out getting collected in moto, and I understand, guys. Yes, good I can meander, right? I know that my story is very eventually get when I guess she did it, this guy, end of grade 8, beginning of grade 9. When I was in grade 9, Neredula go Winchester Hills, and I used to walk home from school. I used to walk home from grade 8. Yes, we used to stay in Winchester when I was in grade 8 and 9, grade 8 and 9. We stayed in Winchester, first year of high school. This cousin, she dated this guy Owakoloi for for over a year, right? That's how long they dated for. You don't date a guy that's that old that has a car and you're not having sex. Like, she was lying to me. She was a virgin. Anyway, whatever. It was clear. It became clear only later on. You know, when you just gullible, sister gali. That's who you is, that's who you be. Moto A, you believe A. Moto B, you believe B. Z, you're like, okay, fine, Z, we're running with it. Grade 8, I'm 14 years old, and figara, I'm walking home. I used to go to Sir John Adamson High School. We used to stay in Winchester Hills. Sir John is a rifle range in Winchester Hills as well, sir. It was a walking distance, but it was like crazy far because it was just so hot all the time. I was actually always just burning in that like hot knock sun. So one day in grade 8. Yeah, grade 8. One day in grade 8, my cousin guy on a moto. Already we are frowning on these chicks escalate. I connect the moto, and some of them are as young as grade 9. Grade 9. Like, the chick is 15 and yet she's out getting picked up by someone, some boyfriend. On a moto, Nimpela, grade 9. On a 15, dog. You can only get a driver's license at the age of 18. In this country, and we know that guy is like what, 19, 20, 20. And why are you busy lying there being roasted like a Nando's chicken? Ona 15. Anyway, whatever. So I'm like 14 years old, grade 8. Always walking back home. I look so much like a child. Like, I'm still so much of a child. Like, you've seen these kids walking back from school, but they're so young, and you can see your sunburn is everywhere. Like, you can see a child whose blazer smells like letsatsi. You see their childhood. From walking long distances, walking around in the malls or in the neighborhood that is close to their school. Busy. Her fingers are like red. Because busy licking her fingers. Her fingers are like red from Mazemba. Busy wawash. And then when you stop over there, busy licking her lips of Mazemba. Her fingers are super red. And you're like, can I have your number? This is a child. She's still licking her fingers from Mazemba. What's ice cream? And some of it is on her blazer. And then and I was literally exactly like that. Okay, I am walking back from school like on this particular day. I wasn't walking back from school. I'd already arrived at home. It was maybe like 3 p.m. And my high school network at 2:10. It was already like 3 p.m. Missing Figile Jardini, and my favorite cartoon was Doug. I was watching the Popeye. I was watching Doug. Ooh, Doug! And Patty Mayonnaise was all up in my grill. And then next thing, and then I'm like, Mang. And my cousin is like, let me give my cousin a name. I don't know. Let's say her name is Homoto. Okay, yeah. She's like, Homoto, right? I'm like, oh, like, I didn't expect it. It's like, it's during the, like, usually we would see each other only on school holidays, right? We would only see each other on school holidays. So when she rocked up, on this random weekday, I was pleasantly surprised. She was like, whatchamacall this thing? Homoto. And I opened the door and I'm like, hi. And and I'm opening like everything, and I do not collect myself. Like, I do not do anything to fix myself, nothing, because I'm thinking Homoto just made a decision to come and visit me. She lives at that stage. I believe they already stayed either they were staying in downtown Joburg or Tree. I stand corrected. My cousin, never go downtown Joburg. She lived very, very, very far. Do you understand what I'm saying? 1 second. She lived very, very far. And so for her to come and give me a surprise visit, I was happy about it because I loved her. It was like a surprise visit, but I did not expect that she would do this thing. And for me, it was just like, whoa, okay, thank you. Taxi all the way in Jeffela. And it get the ray already. So I'm like thinking, so I'm probably going to have to kappa her to the taxis to go back home or whatever. And then she's like, come and open the gate. Because you see, where we used to stay, Winchester, there was a long driveway. And driveway thingy, there was a small little gate that was for pedestrians, for walkers, for number 2 series, for us. And then there was a bigger one that was locked, right? That we had to unlock the key and everything. And so now, of course, coming back from school, my older sister at that stage, no, my sister was not yet home. My older sister was not yet home, but she was in the country still. So it was just me. It was just me in the house. My cousin comes in, got that small little gate, and walks in, knocks on the door. I expect her to come inside. I'll feed her juice, get a sandwich or whatever. And she's like, no, please come and open the gate. Come and open the gate. And I'm like, how? Who's at the gate? That needs like me to open the big gate. She's like, I want you to meet my boyfriend. She's like, I want you to meet my boyfriend. And at that stage, I'm like, oh my goodness, my cousin is dating a guy that has a car. This was the first time that basically I was dealing with umuntu on a papa clearly. Like, papa, guys. This is grade 8. This is grade 8. Sonke sina 14, come on. And then here's this chick rocking up Kohesu. Here is this chick rocking up a Jartinga Mawam, asking me at like 3 p.m. in the afternoon to open the big gate. My mom is not yet home. She won't be home for hours. My older sister is not yet home. And I'm there alone. And then she tells me to open the big gate. Alright? And I ask, who's at the gate? And then she's like, I want you to meet my boyfriend. And I'm like, I love this cousin so much, and I'm such a sycophant at this particular juncture. I am such a sycophant. I am such a gargantuan, whoopsie. Why is this thing? I'm such a massive sycophant. Like, I'm a huge fan that even though under normal circumstances I would be just exorbitantly judgmental of this activity, this is my idol, my god. This is my deity. right? Listen, I deified her. She was properly like a god. And just like a god, I followed her everywhere, and I even followed her example. You know how the Lord fashions us in his image type establishment thing? Well, when an idol, when a god rocks up in your life, you will end up following after its example. Because, I mean, do you not look up to God? Do you not want to be like God? Do you not want to be like Jesus? Do you not want to be loving, gentle, kind, long-suffering, full of self-control, goodness, faithfulness? Basically, don't you want to exude the fruit of the Holy Spirit now that you're in Christ? Of course you do. So you do everything to fashion yourself in the image of your God. So whatever you choose as a deity, understand you're going to want to be like it. So whether or not, if your deity disappoints you, because you're into idol worship or whatever, if it walks in ways that you would not under normal circumstances approve, you will change your mind because it's your God. It's your God. You change your mind about that which you yesterday disapproved of hotly. That which you were unhappy about, you will suddenly be happy with it if your God now is wearing it, which is why y'all need to worship no one but Jesus, because he is immutable and he is good, he is holy, and because he is good and holy, he can therefore never do anything nasty, out of whack, cracked up, towed up from the flow up. And so because God can never do anything strange or awry, you can never be made uncomfortable upon following his example. You can never be apprehensive about following the example of Jesus. You can never be afflicted with a guilty conscience or completely ignore and thwart that conscience when it does spur up on you, when you follow the example of Jesus. But go on right ahead and make a God out of a mere mortal, out of a boyfriend, out of a best friend. Make a God out of a human being and watch yourself spend, listen, copious hours just shoving to the background whatever might have been your initial conviction as to what makes sense to doing, whatever might have been your initial conviction as to what makes for proper conduct, you will keep on having to stuff it the way that an irresponsible child stuffs their dirty laundry and refuses to put it in the washing machine. For weeks on end until it stinks up the room, you will continue to stuff your conscience into an abyss, in all that clutter. You will stuff it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Just to follow your God with peace. Just to give yourself a sense of comfort in so following after this absolutely heinous deity that ought not be made a deity. It ought not be God to you. It ought not be anything of importance. If anything, it must be mocked and avoided. It must be shunned. Do not partake in the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. That's what the Bible says. Mark the wicked men in the streets and avoid them. Do not do what they do. Run, flee from Babylon. Don't partake in its nasty. Otherwise, God is going to plague you with the whole entire city. Listen, get the step and bounce. But go on and make a God out of somebody inside Babylon, and you will be debauched in and of yourself. You will, upon playing the tambourine, dance like a snake, because everybody's dancing like a snake. You will, upon listening to the flute and the lyre, straddle a man and give him a, like a lap dance, because that's what everybody is doing to the playing of the flute and the lyre. When music is playing, you dance like a snake, you straddle men, you romance them, you striptease, instead of basically just sway left to right the way that you all sway left to right when David is playing the harp because it's holy music. Yeah, when you're hanging out in Babylon, you will do the most in favor of your deities, even though they might cause you a severity of apprehension in so doing those things. Ignore a conscience, how? And if at all you ignore your conscience, honey, understand, at some point God will hand you over to that debased mind, cray cray. You will be handed over, lady chica duty dude. You will be handed entirely over, Rando. Okay? Listen, your future ain't looking any kind of good. Nothing. All that is looking any kind of handsome. You done for. But nah, you got a God now. Unale God, girl. Unale God, Osi. Unale limudimu. And I said, yes. I don't want to tell you Gracia Boarding tongue tab. How fitty mo strateng ha tsamaile ke spitsa paraffin. That's your man, baby girl. That's your God, sorry. I had a deity, and this deity was ungodly entirely. It was unholy. It was unrighteous. It was debilitated. I had a God, Jella. That was my hera. Woo! Yes, like that. Anyway, here lies my hera, like out here hanging out, ne? My God. Here lies my God. Hanging out outside of my house at the age of 14. Doing things that under normal circumstances I'm out here like double standards. I'm out here like whacking my head on some under normal circumstances. But because this was my hero, this was my hot, this was my almighty, I know, Shem, I forgot about my convictions. My cousin was doing the thing that everybody was actually frowning at, and that was during the days of very shortly afterwards. It was either shortly afterwards or before then sometime. There was Yizo came no later. Yizo came later. Right? Go Yizo, you saw the whole phenomenon of young girls dating guys with cars. Guys too old for high school chicks type establishment thing. You saw it on Yizo was yet to come at that stage, so I guess my cousin didn't have that for an example. Honestly, already added busy little papa action, except this guy wasn't against Serena. This the north of Johannesburg. And it didn't matter because at the end of the day, like, she's boy. This guy, she's boy. Still, when my cousin walked up with that boyfriend and told me that I want you to meet my boyfriend, she came and then knocked on the door. Aliwan, because the guy was idling at the gate, because the gate was locked and he couldn't leave his car parked outside. He used to drive like, when you're young and you don't have insurance and you drive, was it a Golf or what? One of those cars that back I don't know if it's still a thing. When I used to work for Dial Direct for Teleshore, where that insurance group that has Teleshore Dial Direct, first for women, the premium on the Golf was so high. Was so high, big that like frankly it was not even worth it to insure. A lot of people, because the cars were not even all that expensive, just kind of took it in their stride. Very much could get stolen type establishment thing, precisely because it was hot on the market. Why it had a high theft rate. It had a high theft rate, and he drove one of those cars. I think he drove a Golf. White. I stand corrected though. It was some VW in or was it a Polo? It was some vehicle back in the day, so he was unprepared and just and just leave it. He was like, can we drive in, please? I need to park inside because I'm